baker buddies, are you ready to get baking? Before we do anything, if you have long hair, make sure to tie it back with a hair tie. And wash your hands. Alrighty, it's time to get started. So today, we're going to be making cake pops. Here's what you'll need. 2 1/4 cup of flour, 1 cup of sugar, 1 cup of milk, 2 teaspoons baking powder, half a teaspoon baking soda, and 1 teaspoon salt. 1/4 cup butter, 1 tablespoon vanilla, 1/4 cup canola oil, and 3 large eggs. For the cream cheese frosting, you'll need half a cup of cream cheese, 1/4 cup of powdered sugar, and the tiny little bottle of vanilla I provided for you. For the decoration supplies, you will need ribbon, cellophane bags and twisty ties, extra cake pop sticks, chocolate, sprinkles, and edible glitter. And lastly, for the equipment, you will need either a stand mixer or an electric hand mixer with a bowl, a medium-sized bowl, a large-sized bowl, a coffee cup, styrofoam, a whisk, and lastly, a spatula. Now let's get baking. To start, whisk the flour, baking powder, baking soda, and salt together. Preheat the oven to 350 degrees Fahrenheit. Now, set the dry ingredients to the side and move on to the wet. In your stand mixer bowl, transfer the oil, butter, and sugar into the bowl. Beat together for 2 minutes. This is what your mixture should look like. Super light and super fluffy. Delicious. Crack in the 3 eggs. And pour in the vanilla. Make sure you wash your hands after you crack in the eggs because eggs have lots of germs. Now mix until incorporated. Scrape down the sides halfway through to make sure everything gets incorporated. Continue mixing. Once it's done mixing, the mixture should be super liquidy. Alright, I think it's time for a joke. What do you call a cake pop that can sing? A pop star! Now bring back in your flour mixture and add it into the wet ingredients in 3 batches. So that's 1 batch, and then we mix. And then after that first batch is added, we're going to add in half the milk. And then mix. Then add in your second batch of flour. Just eyeball it. Leaving a little bit left, and mix. Pour in the rest of your milk and mix. And then again, scrape down the sides to make sure everything gets incorporated. It's important. Add in your last batch of flour. And mix. One last time, scrape down the sides. And give it one final mix, about 5 seconds. And you're done. That's your cake. Now, nobody said making cake pops was gonna be easy, but it's worth the whisk. Transfer the delicious cake batter into your greased cake pan. And smooth it out until it's all even. You can also tap it to make sure it's even. Doesn't that look good? Now bake for 25 to 30 minutes. Now that our cake is baked, leave it on the counter to cool to room temp, about 25 minutes. Alright, time for our last joke of the day. What did the cake pop say to the cupcake? I'd be muffin without you! Okay, while our cake is cooling, we're going to make the frosting. So put in a small bowl the cream cheese that's softened to room temp, the powdered sugar, and the vanilla. Use your spatula to mix it up really well. If it's too thick like mine, add a little bit of water and use your whisk to whisk it up. This is what your frosting should look like. Super smooth. Delicious. Now that our cake is cold, we'll take it out of the cake pan, flip it over, and cut off all the brown edges. Now that we've cut off all the brown hard edges,
Don't throw these away. Just put them in a plastic bag to snack on for later. Crumble all your cake into a large bowl. Alrighty, it should be super duper fine. Make sure there are no large clumps. Now add a tablespoon of frosting at a time until it looks like Play-Doh. You get to mix with your hands, and it's the messy part, which is really fun. Mix it up really well. Mine is still too dry, so I'm going to add another tablespoon. And mix it up really well. It's so much fun. It's still a little dry, so I'm going to add a little bit more. Just keep doing that. This is what you want. You can really compact it together, but it can still fall apart. So now what we're going to do is take about a tablespoon of dough, and smush it together really well. Then roll really, really well. But also gently so it doesn't fall apart. Until you have a nice round ball, and place on a plate lined with parchment paper. Repeat with remaining dough. And ta-da! Here are cake pop dough balls. Place them in the fridge while you melt your chocolate. Alright, now for this part you can really use any chocolate you want. White, dark, milk chocolate, anything. Today I'm going to be going with semi-sweet chocolate chips and these Hershey's cookies and cream white chocolate bars. So what you'll want to do is pour each one into a coffee cup and melt in the microwave with 30-second intervals. So put it in the microwave for 30 seconds and then take it out and mix. And then do that until it's melted. Alright, we got our chocolate all melted. Look how silky smooth that is. Now what we're going to do is take your cake pop stick, dip it into the chocolate, and then dip it right into your cake pop. Place this in the fridge for 5 minutes. Now that our chocolate is all melted, we are going to cool it for 10 minutes. Alright, time to dip. We're going to grab one of our cake pop sticks with the ball on it, put it in the chocolate, and swirl it around until it's all coated. Let the excess drip off. Gotta let all the excess get off. and then immediately poke it into your styrofoam. It may drip down a little bit, but that's okay. Then we're gonna get our edible glitter and our sprinkles and immediately sprinkle it on. Repeat with remaining cake pops. I'm going to do the white chocolate one now. So the same thing, just dip it into the whole cake pop into the coffee mug, swirl it around, let it drip off all the excess. And then immediately poke into your styrofoam. Then immediately coat with either edible glitter or sprinkles, or both. Then I'm going to do the last one. This part is really satisfying. Pop these into the fridge until set, about 10 minutes. And ta-da! Our cake pops are done! Yay! Now optionally, if you are wanting to give these cake pops to a friend or family member, you can use the cellophane, the ribbon, and the twisty ties to wrap them up and give them to someone. And here is the final product. Well, Baker Buddies, I hope you had fun today. See you next time!